If you guys need help gearing up for any of the new content in Grand Theft Auto Online or Red Dead Online, check out G2A with the link in the description and use cashback code BOSS if you want to save a little bit extra as well. Hey guys, Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's GTA video, we're going to be taking a look at some GTA 6 concept maps. How the setting could look like, what the land could look like, what the city is going to be. It's been a hot minute since we've actually taken a look at some concept maps, and all the ones we're going to be focusing on today, brand new. Like we've never featured or covered on the channel before. So this is going to be really fun, and hopefully you'll see some examples here that you haven't yet. So let's get this started, and let's just dive into this first one right here. All of these were found on the GTA 6 subreddit. I'll leave as many links as I can to them in the description. So here's our first one. This one is the Vice City and Fortuna State, and this is a really well done map, as you guys can see here. And obviously it's going to feature a expanded version of Vice City, which that's one of the biggest rumors to date, is that the game is going back to Vice City. And if it was going to be either a modernized version or still one in the 80s, you would still think the map would be much bigger than the PS2 version we got back in the early 2000s. But essentially, taking a look at it, you have the entire expanded Vice City story. You've got the Fortuna military base. You have Starfish Island, which now, instead of being stuck between like the two parts of the city, is like literally on the southwestern part of the map, right next to the Fortuna Keys. It also looks like there's a couple of other interesting landmarks as well, like Escobar International Airport, the Johnson Space Center, Impotent Rage Land, which I'm assuming is a parody of Disney World. You've got Bloom City. You've got a couple of other fun little areas as well, like the Glades Wilderness and the Swamplands. And there's even a Turtle Rally Park. Like, this map looks awesome. Now, I think the only thing that people might get fussy with here is they might, number one, think it's too small, or number two, there might not be enough things to do. Keep in mind, this is a concept map. This is the work of one individual. They probably didn't have enough time or resources or efforts to create something that an entire video game studio would be responsible for. But this is just incredible, like the way it looks. It literally looks like it's a Rockstar game map, which is just wild. Now, I do agree, I think it might be a little bit small and there might not be a lot of stuff to do, but let's just say that this was one city and there was other aspects of the world that we had instead of Vice City. This would be really, really good. So if it was like 1 out of 3 cities, that would be perfectly sized, in my opinion. And speaking of that, that is a nice segue to the next map that we're going to be looking at today, and that is this one, which was created by Petter Cheddar 11, and it was made digital by Jericho 681, and the logo artist is Notorious Lipe. And so what you've essentially got here is something similar to what we looked at on the first one, but you've got basically the entire city of Florida, which we'll talk about. But you've also got what looks to be Cuba and then other parts of Central or South America. So let's just start from the very top. It looks like this map has given us the entire state of Florida, which in GTA we've only seen Vice City, but you can see just how much land is here. You've obviously got Vice City. You've got other areas like Bradley and New Lamont and New Rosa, which are all the other fictional cities that are in Florida. Another thing I like about this is they've actually roughly made it the same shape and size of Florida, which I think is fantastic. So you get that sort of same shape, and imagine being able to like drive a car from Vice City to all the way to New Rosa. Like, that would be amazing, especially if you were taking like the highway system or the train tracks, which, speaking of that, you can see that red is train tracks, sort of light blue is airport runways, the bold ones are state names, bold black are highways, interstates, city names, airports, county names, etc. So that's Florida. Then you have, I think it's Del Castro or Bel Castro, which is, I think, very clearly Cuba, especially when you have a city, Havana County. So that would be fun to be able to go to Cuba, explore what's going on there. And then you've got Amenivo, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly, which I'm not sure what island that's supposed to be. Again, maybe it's some small South America, maybe it's some small Central America. Either way, super cool. You've got like 3 unique and very fun land masses there. So that's the second map, kind of an expansion of Vice City into the entire state of Florida, and also providing us some other islands as well, which would be really awesome to explore by land, air, and sea. Moving on, our next map concept sort of has the world split in two different cities. On the left, it would be Carcer City and Winthrop, which is a city with planning that's just as messy as it is grisly displays of approximately 1,001 ways to die. So you would have a smaller area, which would function as maybe like a more usable North Yankton, the way it is in GTA 5, where instead of it being for like the prologue and one other mission, you could continuously go back there. So that's Carcer City and Winthrop. And then you essentially have this version of Vice City, which I know the maps and the roads aren't as detailed as the ones we've seen in the past, but it still gives you a really good idea of how Rockstar could expand the Vice City map. So you've got Vice City, you've got Delray, you've got a couple of other fictional cities in Florida. You've got the Space Center as well. You've got the National Park. You've got the Viceland Keys, which I think would be such a fun area to explore, something that Rockstar didn't really get to do a whole lot of in GTA Vice City. I think they were sort of limited with what they could ultimately get done. Now, the only thing I don't love about this one is the National Park, which there seems to be nothing in there, takes up like 50%, 60% of the entire island. That just seems like a lot of wasted space. I feel like Rockstar would want to utilize that a little bit more. But anyways, that is another great one. Moving on to this one right here. This features like the entire east side of the United States. So if Rockstar really were to do something incredibly expanded like this that featured multiple cities, this is what it might look like. So obviously in the top right, you have Liberty City and all its different various outlets like Broker, Alderney, Bohan. You even got Bulworth up there from the Bully series, Carcer City as well, Saint Denis, which you'll recognize from Red Dead Redemption 2, and then a very much expanded Vice City featuring Cape Fraud, Cottonmouth City, the Boondocks, and the Gator Keys, which this would be incredible. Like, imagine getting in a supercar, driving from Vice City to Liberty City, then to Saint Denis. Imagine getting in a plane in Carcer City and flying to, Hancock and then a bunch of other places. Like, this would just be so much freaking fun. So I love the idea of this. Although at this point in time, why would you stop with half of the U.S.? Why wouldn't you just do the whole thing? And then include other places like, Los Santos, San Fierro, Las Venturas. Why stop at just half of the U.S. when you've done that much work? But either way, that would still be pretty freaking incredible. This next concept map features Liberty City, Vice City, and Los Santos. And I like the design, like how it looks like a realistic GTA map. The only thing I don't love here is the proximity of everything. Like, Los Santos is obviously not that close to Liberty City. I mean, Los Angeles is like the furthest thing away from New York. New York is pretty far away from Miami. So the fact that like all three of them are connected by pretty close land masses, that's the only thing that's a little bit awkward here. Although I know what this user was going for. They wanted to make it a realistic size map while still incorporating all three of those cities. And it looks like they've definitely done so. And what's cool about this, what I love the most, is that this artist and designer has remodeled every single city. So Los Santos looks different from the one in GTA 5. Liberty City looks different from the one in Grand Theft Auto 4. And the Vice City layout looks different from the one in GTA Vice City. And I do like what's going on in between. Again, it's a concept map. It's not meant to be final or official. But in between these three massive cities, it looks like there could be a ton of really cool stuff to check out and explore. So not only do you have the big cities, the islands, but there's like a ton of like land in the middle that could be filled with a lot of fun and exciting stuff for us to check out. So let me know what you think about that one. And our final one today, it looks like this is going to be another expanded version of Vice City. This is the most detailed version of Vice City that I've seen so far. So if Rockstar were to focus on one city, I would imagine it would be roughly this detailed, which is nuts. And you guys can see there that they have all the different cities, they have all the different islands, they have some new areas for us to check out and explore as well, like the Glades and the Air Base, some classics that you'll remember like Escobar International Airport, Starfish Island. This is wild. It even has like a really fun description in the top right-hand corner. And like I said, I will leave links to as many of these that I can in the description. I found all of them on the GTA 6 subreddit. But I would love to hear from you guys in the comments down below. Of all the concept maps that we ended up looking at in this video today, which one would you think is the most exciting? as far as like which one you would want the GTA 6 map to be. Was it the first one? Was it the third one? Was it the fourth one? Is it none of them? Have you made it through this entire video and said to yourself, I don't want GTA 6's map to look like this at all? You guys can let me know what you're thinking in those comments down below. I would love to hear from you guys down there. If you guys did go on to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new, or you want to stay up to date on all the latest GTA and Red Dead Redemption videos that I'm doing here on my channel. And be sure to ring that notification bell as well. Sometimes YouTube just doesn't work, and if you ring that bell, you'll always be guaranteed to be notified when new videos arrive. But of course, as always, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.